erupted throughout the
This
city.
Commonwealth has been dealing with the pandemic that is laid bare
There's been a 150% increase
in cities over the killings of Black Americans.
and put on full display
in a city that's feeling less and less safe every
our
day.
society's inequalities
Demanding justice
and injustice.
Tonight demands for justice.
This display hasn't been in words or theories.
Again, an exchange of gunfire.
It's been in death.
It could have been me. It could have been you.
White police officer knelt on his neck.
Lamont Collins, Roots 101 African American Museum. Welcome to Healing Process, Series 120. That's 120. We'll keep moving, keep grooving, I guess, like old DJ. But tonight I got two main guests that are resetting Louisville. When I say resetting Louisville in so many different ways, are they being active? I can call it the BMW series, Black Men Working Edition. How's that? So I'll let them introduce themselves to you, starting all the way to the end. Let them know who you are, what you do.
DESTRY White, entrepreneur and one of the co-founders of Colors Newspaper and also pushing the Reset Louisville initiative.
Okay.
And I'm Anthony Gaines. I'm the CEO, Executive Director, and Editor of Colors Newspaper, founder of the Reset Louisville Initiative.
Okay, well, let's jump right into the Colors Newspaper, because I see the T-shirts, I see the newspaper, and I even see this good-looking man on the front of one of them, and you know, you had to go right with that.
We had to bring him back.
So we'll start with that edition, but no, let's talk about what Colors Newspaper is and what it's all about.
Perfect. So what Colors Newspaper is, it's a nonprofit organization. It's called Colors Newspaper, Inc. And what we do is we attack racial disparities within the community. Our goal is to bridge the gap in racial disparities by these avenues. One, media platform. The second is innovative programming, and then the third is youth development. Okay. So we produce a monthly newspaper called Colors Newspaper, which started in the summer of 2019. And this newspaper is a platform for everyone in the community. We like to use the term giving a voice to the voiceless. You know, mainstream media, the mainstream news channels, you know, shout out to them for coming and do stories, but you know, they pick and choose what they want to put out on the media. So we like to use this as a platform to be able to give people that live in the West End, work in the West End, from the West End, to give raw and unfiltered perspectives about issues that's going on in the city that directly affect them.
Well, it's cool because historically, it's been the black press that has told our story. And that's one reason we did Roots 101, is that I always felt like our narrative and our story wasn't being told.
Yes, sir.
So you're doing the right thing. So take it from there. Would you add on to the newspaper, or you want to add into the Reset Louisville? Where do you want to go?
We can start with the Reset Louisville. One of the beautiful things about the Reset Louisville is we're not trying to not only provide and give to the community, but we want to set a new mindset. See, because what our programs are designed not to only give and empower them, but we want to educate them with the same fact of once you have something, like for example, education and finance. A lot of the community a lot of these kids don't even count their change anymore. There's just simple basic stuff. So we want to go back to the basics and give them the basic from the foundation blocks from education, finance, just to get them back on. And also with this establishment here with Route 101, it gives them a taste of history, because a lot of that's not being taught anymore.
Okay, I get that. I remember when I was a child, my grandmother had a business. She was had a beauty salon. My grandfather was in owned houses and all that. But I remember when she would send us to the store, and you know, in the hood, you know, you always had the Jewish stores or the Italian stores or whatever, and whatever you changed with is put on the desk, right, or on the counter. And my grandmother, if you didn't count your change and knew what the taxes were, you're gonna have a hard night when you got back home. Man. You're gonna count the money and you're gonna know what taxes are. And I agree, there's so much we gotten away from that. I've been in stores where a cash register break down and they lost. They don't know how to get the change back. So what you're saying initiative-wise, I get it. And I'm coming back to Reset Louisville because I love what you guys are doing from an economic standpoint. So, but let me ask you this on the Colors newspaper, Anthony. Is it designed for people in the West End, or is it designed for people of color because we're all going through the same challenges? What is it designed for?
Definitely, and that's a great question. That's part of the reason why it's called Colors Newspaper. And if you notice our logo, we got plenty of different colors in there, and it's a paper that's housed and worked out of the West End, but it's really for the entire city. You know, it's for the people that live in the West End and work there because, you know, we're able to get their voices out, promote those small businesses, and one of my favorite things about it is present relevant and important information. We can spread important information in there, but what makes it so unique is, like lately, we've been able to extend out into the Nulu area. We have places in Taylorsville, out on Taylorsville Road, where we have the paper in now. And what it does by going out to the east side of town is allowing people that live out there that see this paper to get inside the minds of the people that's writing pieces inside of it. You know, so now they get to get inside the minds of people who are writing pieces about how upset they are about the Breonna Taylor situation, or how upset they are about not having a lack of financial involvement by the city, or whatever it may be. People that live on the East End are able to understand why. We believe that's the newspaper's part of bridging that gap of racial disparity, because that racial disparity and racial tension, a lot of that can be solved by conversation, being able to understand why someone feels that way. So it's a paper out of the West End, but our goal is for it to bring together the whole city.
Okay, now Reset Louisville, and I guess you can answer some of that too, but Reset Louisville, okay, your housing development, is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, along with housing development, what other pieces are part of that economic engine that you're doing?
Well, what's incorporated inside of the housing program itself is credit repair. Our credit repair is designed to not only get their credit score up, but to teach them how to do it themselves.
Okay.
Understand about paying the bill on time, utilization, and understand credit line. And then the second piece is the economic portion, with the finance economic portion. So what's going to happen is a lot of folks are getting these homes and they don't know how to keep them. So we have to educate them on, okay, this is your house. This house here is going to probably be the biggest thing you ever spend your money
There's no
on.
doubt.
Right, so it's almost like a bank account if you use it properly. So teach them how to keep that, and then the basics of how to change the filter in the AC unit. You know, simple stuff like that. And then the third, of course, is that we push them through for the HUD certification, so they'll be able to get a down payment to be able to purchase the home.
Let me ask you, we stay with the housing piece here.
Okay.
Okay, now, your initiative is the West End of Louisville, but I think you agree, like most of us agree, Louisville's bigger than the West End of Louisville. Louisville's Middletown, J-Town, Berrytown. Are there initiatives that you're gonna push this kind of program outside of the city of Louisville? Because black people live all over Louisville, and people that are underserved live all over Louisville, right? Well, South End, whatever stretch of portions of town, but really all over. The people are underserved in some way or another. So my question to you is it designed to move outside the city limits so people can live somewhere other than the West End of Louisville, or no?
Now, the way we have it set up is, you know, like Anthony said before, colors is diversity,
You're right.
pretty much. We prefer to help the locals within the West End, but it's really for any one of them that meets
Right.
the category of minorities.
Right, okay.
And then within the minority platform, we come in with the education setup, you know, as far as the teaching them financial education, the credit repair, and the certification from HUD. So no, we are not being exclusive, and we are not walling out any other folks that want to come back into the community.
Right, but the
to,
initiative,
purchase.
the housing initiative, where it is right now, it is the city of Louisville.
It
That's
is.
where the money was funded. But as a builder and as a developer, you have visions to take it outside as time goes on.
Definitely,
Like a
of
proof of
course.
concept.
That is
type of
correct.
thing, correct?
That's correct.
Okay,
And
go
yeah,
ahead.
and to bring what the whole Reset Louisville initiative really is, the housing part of the Reset Louisville initiative is just one part of the Reset Louisville initiative. And to answer your question, our vision at Reset Louisville is to create a healthy, vibrant, and secure Louisville full of opportunity extended from east to west.
Okay, good.
That's our vision. And the way Reset Louisville came about was, just like a lot of people here in the city, business owners, nonprofit organizations, the coronavirus hit. You know, before the coronavirus, we were working on other opportunities. We were working on opportunity with local theater. We were working on opportunity opening up a franchise, a restaurant. And then the coronavirus hit, and it completely changed,
For everybody.
everything.
For everybody.
And that's really where Reset Louisville came from. We created a 5-point plan that we wanted to reset Louisville. And the reason the idea came was because when we seen the coronavirus happen at the beginning and how many people it was affecting, those flaws really illuminated major issues in the city. And, you know, our 5-point plan, healthcare, fresh food, home ownership, gun violence, and housing, is nothing different than most other nonprofit organizations. It's just that those were the ones that stood out the most to us. So we decided to create this initiative, and we jumped it off that first weekend of the protest downtown in Louisville last summer. We held a protest ourselves that second night of protest, because one of our 5 points is police brutality and gun violence. And we came out there, we started a march at the AC Hotel in Nulu. We marched down to the courthouse. Reverend Elliott came out, Councilman now, Ja'Cory Arthur was out there. A lot of people came out. At the end of that march, we had about 1,000 people marching with us. And that really jump-started this initiative for us. We were able to talk about who we were, what our plan was. You know, we're down here marching for police brutality and things going on, but we want you all to join this movement that we have going on, because not only are we going to march, we're also going to be creating innovative programs to take advantage of this opportunity to actually be able to change things in the community.
Well, and either one of you can answer this, from the relationships you made from protests, you know, historically for people of the black community and the brown community, protest has always been a way of progress, right? And from what you guys started, did that progress come from the protest? Your relationships, was that part of what happened?
Definitely, it was, because Colors is it's a new organization. We started the summer of 2019, and, you know, we was pushing the newspaper out, and that was great. And being able to create this Reset Louisville initiative and be in the community, meet other nonprofit organizations that were down there marching, who's done this for years before, who have their strategies of how they're going to do it. You know, it wasn't the peachiest time meeting a lot of these people, but I'm forever thankful to be able to run into them, understand, you know, the passion of people down there, and really get to understand the identity of the people that live here.
Right. Now, again, either one you can jump in. From the Reset Louisville, it takes dollars to make things work, development and all those things. How did you create, because I read in the article or news article or TV that you guys had a relationship with a particular bank that went along with the project that you were doing. Can you tell people how that initiative worked and how's it working now?
Definitely. My mentor, my OG that helped us found this organization, he always liked to call, you know, protests and everything, the tree shakers. He called himself a tree shaker. And those are people that go out and you shake the trees, you stir up.
You make people uncomfortable.
You make them uncomfortable, and when you shake the trees, the fruits fall. So that's where we came in at Reset Louisville. We picked up those fruits from all the tree shaking that was going on, and we went to different entities in the city of Louisville who have a record of not investing into the West End, and simply just setting those meetings up. You know how hard it is to get a meeting with the top dog, but just being on them, timing being perfect, having this initiative, Reset Louisville, getting them to understand why we are doing it. And, you know, at the end of the day, the bank is Stockyards Bank. At the end of the day, you know, we sat down with the president, the CEO, and we told him what we were trying to do with this initiative, why we need this housing program. You know, we read the Louisville Metro Coalition report, and, you know, it's listed in there that it needs to be 22,000 units, they called it, for the West End to equal out to the East End in home ownership, 40,000 houses, you know, and we need Stockyards, or anybody that has money like that to start investing in it. You all are the ones that's always putting the stats out as far as what's going on in the West End. Now it's time for you to invest.
You let the facts speak for themselves.
Exactly.
And the initiative. So now I love what you said about tree shakers, because historically we've always had what white America called agitators from the black community, and we always need agitators. And when you get through, make sure you send a couple agitators to Roots 101 so I can send them downtown to do what we have to do. But from that initiative that you guys have done at the bank, and the bank has stepped up, and I hope other banks do stand up, when is the build date, start date? How's that working for y'all?
Great question. We've been getting a lot of people calling and working out, and it's been a learning process. DESTRY here, he's got a lot of experience in construction and things like that. For me, I've been learning a whole lot and learning the processes of, after they say this is how it is, you got to go through all the technical things. And
Everything.
what we've been doing over the last couple months is focusing on this paper, getting our classes, which DESTRY's heading, home ownership classes, HUD certification classes in order, finalizing the paperwork, and finally, we actually got good news today. Our closing is this Friday.
Praise God.
1 o'clock. We'll be able to start building on these first houses next week,
We'll do it.
breaking ground.
So you had to
So-
come here to tell us.
Oh, yeah, it was perfect timing, perfect timing.
That's how it works.
Yes, sir.
So when you go into this building initiative, and, you know, this is time of the year, you can start delayed because of the weather and all that.
Right.
But tell people what they're gonna look forward to seeing different in the West End than what they see today. He's gonna let you speak this time. Go ahead.
Well, one of the biggest things that's going to take place is that the rebuilding of the West End is going to be done by blacks.
Okay.
Our whole team, start from the architect all the way down to the labor, is all African Americans are actually doing most of the work. So not only the fact that they'll be able to see their own building and constructing, it helps show the younger generations, you know, you don't have to sell, you don't have to have your pants down. This is what real brothers can actually do if they get that the right opportunity. So that's going to be one of the biggest changes that take place within in our community. The fact that they're going to see the community is changing and it's being reset by their own kind is actually taking place.
Okay, let me ask you this. This is when I start doing my journalism stuff, okay? Now, building houses is one initiative, correct?
Right.
And you can build houses that are affordable, that people can live in, but surrounding it is jobs that are $8 and $5 and $10. Where is the initiative to bring the economic engine to around home ownership? Because when the West End that I remember, we had Philip Morris, you had Brown Foreman, you had people making, you know, more than living wages in the West End at that period of time. But as those companies are moving out and these housing initiatives are coming, what is the support mechanisms that young people or families can make more than a living wage, that if they wanted to move from a house that was $90,000, $100,000, could it be done in West Louisville? You know, see what I'm saying? So what is are y'all working on that economic engine to bring manufacturing and high-priced jobs to the inner city, or are we going to still watch them go to E-Town, J-Town, and outside? Do you have an initiative for that?
We have an initiative for it, and like I said, it's been a year and a half now, and right now we're laying our foundation for us right now. So yes, of course, ideally, we're going to be wanting to bring in manufacturing or any type of job opportunities to expand the economic development in the West End.
Correct.
So this is just our first start. Like we said, we have a 5-point plan, and we plan on creating innovative programs as prominent as this housing program for each one of those 5 points. But with this housing initiative, we are going to be building first-time houses for first-time homeowners, and then it's also going to be a part where we're rehabbing houses that's vacant and abandoned in the West End and selling those too as well. So it'll be more affordable houses like that. But, you know, just like with every problem, you know, we have in the West End of Louisville or any other major city, it takes everybody. It takes our organization, the other organizations I've seen that's doing housing initiatives in the West End. It takes a collaborative effort of all of us to be able to actually bring in, like you said, more business, more money into the West End. And, you know, what we can do is just do our part.
Right, and you're doing your part.
Right.
And the question really wasn't about you, it was just about the entity that you're working in, the support system that comes with it. Because historically, you know, we talk about redlining, and how blacks were all moved to a certain part of town, you know, traditionally. You know, I always claim the West End. I don't claim the West End as a black end, because when I was younger, it was a white end.
Right.
And when riots happened is when white flight happened and black people moved to the West End. So when I grew up, my father always taught us past the West End. Even though we might have originally started on 16th Street, whatever, we moved out in the county, he made sure that we used to get in the car, and I tell the story all the time, him, my mom, and my brothers and sisters, and we would ride to predominantly white neighborhoods back in 69 and 70, because that's what he saw. He didn't see that I had to live in a certain part of Louisville, right? So that mindset's always in my head. And so so I was raised that Louisville's bigger than the West End of Louisville, because Western Louisville wasn't even us in the beginning. It was us after a rehab that happened. And then a lot of black professionals moved to the West End of Louisville, And the West End, had 2 parks down there, national parks. You had a riding stable. You had an amusement park.
I heard about
and
that.
all that was designed for white people. It wasn't us. We got it later after they abandoned it. And we've done a good job of being stewards. I'm not saying that. But my thing is, I talk historical about redlining, is that sometimes a program looks so great because we're improving what's there, right? But when you turn around, we've duplicated what white America's already done. We put black people in a certain area of town again. And we built houses for them in this certain area again. So we've done the same things we did in urban renewal. We're repeating it in 2020. So if we are going to repeat it, and for the sense of advancement and new home ownership, I get that. But I also think it's got to be imperative on guys like you is to say, okay, if you're going to give us the dollar to build these houses, we're going to come back to you and say, give us the dollars to put manufacturing or high-priced jobs in these areas. I think it's imperative that groups like yours go to the next level, because if you don't go to the next level, you're just going to have a lot of houses at a moderate price range that's going to always be the same, because it's going to be the same income that goes there. It's no more than building a project, but the only thing you build is each individual home. And so the support system has to get there. And I'm just talking traditionally what I know historically, what has happened all over the country. And I think what you guys are doing is, you have to applaud what's happening, but also in your application while you're there. You're there. When you get to the table, it's so much easier to, when you get to the table, you can make changes at the table, because now you control the menu that's served. And if you don't control the menu, you can decide whether you want to eat anymore. So if the black contractors you say are working together, black builders are working together, let's come together and say, what's our next level? What can we take back to those and say, okay, we've done this, now let's take it another level. Let's build some cities that if everybody in this neighborhood wanted to build a $300,000 house, they could, because they have the income to do that. They don't have to stay at 90,000, 110, 120. So that's where I always look at things as a builder and as a business person, is that it's a support system, and that's what makes neighborhoods better, is the support system around them. And they can't say they're not bringing manufacturing. You can't say you still don't have rails around here. You have right up on the expressway from trucking. There's reasons companies should be in the city of Louisville. And I think somebody needs to take that mantle, the same people to shake trees, say, okay, we got our housing, now bring our businesses down here. They shouldn't have to get on a bus and go all the way to south end of town, get on a bus, and then you cut the bus routes out, and then they lose their jobs.
Right.
So that's my plea to you guys, is that if that's something you could even consider doing in the process as you get it to the table. First, you got to be at the table.
Right.
And you are at the table. So long term, is it possible that collectively those that are building can look in those directions or create something different?
For sure, and I think that goes, without saying. We've had conversations with a major organization the other day, had a meeting with them, saying those exact same words. We need you to come down in the West End, bring this business opportunity down here. Everybody knows the facts that if you took the West End, it's the highest concentration of black people in the whole state. It'd be the second largest county in the state. Being able to get in front of the people, like you said, being at the table, has allowed us to be able to present these things to these people. And we're working on, a couple things right now to bring money, flourishes. Like I said, our vision, our mission with Reset Louisville is to provide a healthy and secure and vibrant Louisville extended from east to west. So that follows right in line as far as what we are working to do here at Reset Louisville Colors newspaper, and it's just having to chip away at it, do one thing at a time. I've done a lot of different business ventures. I've tried to spread myself too thin plenty of times already. So now I'm able to, focus in, get this task done, then we move on and move on. And the way we're going to be able to do that is help. We need people in the community, that likes our mission, likes what we're doing, want to hear more about what we're doing, to join Colors newspaper. We're about to open up a membership program where people can actually become a member of Reset Louisville. A 1-year membership where you get access to certain benefits, first dibs on certain things, and just being involved in the loop of what we have going on, period. Being able to bring your ideas to the table, what your insights are, and feedback So that's a lot of things, what you're saying, that's right up our alley, that's what we're working on.
Well, like I said, I keep applauding what you're doing. Now, we're talking about building. What square foot homes are they putting up? Are they duplexes? Are they straight residential? Are there slab houses, basement houses? What's the combination?
Right now, we're starting at 1,300 square feet and going up. They are single-family homes. They are in the Russell area at this moment. And
Now, wasn't some buildings done over there before, a couple times?
that is correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what happened with that? They're still there, or?
Actually, they are all actually have tenant people in them.
Good,
They all actually
okay,
have
okay.
homeowners are in them, and they actually 2 blocks from where we actually are at.
Okay,
So the property value of it is pretty good.
okay.
So that helps out quite a bit. And but as of right now, it's single-family homes. One of the good things about it is, as we build the homes, we have it set up where the individual who's looking to purchase the house, we allow them to come in and pick the colors, the
Okay,
floors,
cool.
stuff like that. So we would like a little bit more engagement from the homeowner, and it helps them understand this is yours now. So it's not just we just going to slap it up and build it and say this is your house. No, we allow them to put a part of them into the home.
I love it.
So that's going to be very powerful.
Okay, I love it, I love it. And how many are you building right now?
Right now, we're going to be, our first wave is going to be 3,
Are they on the same block?
same block.
Okay, okay.
3 at a time.
Okay, that makes it so much easier to build.
Right.
Makes it so much easier, be more effective that
Yes,
way.
it does.
So you go 3 at a time, and what is your build-out time that you kind of expecting people to come in, break ground, all that? What kind of time frame you talking?
From the time the ground break, we, of course, you know, the time of the season.
Yeah, always, yeah.
But outside of that, we look at between about 115 days.
Okay, it's not bad. It's not bad at all.
And like he said, we got a bomb team, you know, as far as our builder, Charles Scott. I don't know if you know Charles Scott.
I know he's a builder, but I
He
know
does
about it.
beautiful work, you know, all around Louisville, West End, East End, you know. He completely transforms, you know, what a home looks like. And our architect's the black man, Milton
Yeah, Milton.
Haskins.
I know Milton well.
You know, Milton, you know, so we feel like we got one of the best building teams in the city.
Okay.
And we're ready to, you know, do a lot of things, a lot of good for the community. Building houses, renovating them, and then, like I said, get to our next point, healthcare, which is our next initiative.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Now, when you say 22, are some of those houses rehabs, or the 22 is all new build?
Oh, they all vacant lots.
Okay, so the rehab is just additional as you move forward?
Yes, sir.
As cash flow turns, or line of credit moves forward, or whatever?
Right, we're
Okay.
actually working right now with another entity to help us with that initiative, which also reminds me of, you know, being in this housing area here in Louisville, trying to buy land in the West End is a task in itself.
Oh, there's no doubt.
You know, it's a complete
It's a
task.
political monster.
It was a learning experience for me, you know, going to meetings with these major corporations who own 400, 500, 600 houses in the West End. You go to them, meet with them, we explain to them what our initiative, what we're trying to do, sell us some of your houses. Oh, no, we can't sell those houses. We got 600 of them, but we can't give you one. We're not going to give you one. You know, we've had heated conversations
no doubt.
with some of these organizations, and it's just been like, you know, a learning experience for me. And what I've learned is that's what the true value is in America, is owning land. If you own land, that's how you can prosper.
Yeah.
That's how your family can
Yeah,
prosper.
they ain't making no more of it.
They're not making no more of it. They don't want to give it away.
Yeah.
And it's a research institute here in Wolf. I can't think of it. The guy's name is Josh Poe.
Are you talking about Thunder?
I can't think of the name.
I
of
think
the
we had him
organization.
here, Thunder, Bluegrass Thunder, or Bluegrass.
Something like that. And he does all these analysis and
He
surveys
does the
in the
maps and
West
everything.
End.
Yeah, he's been a guest of ours.
Right, and he put out a stat that said 18% of Russell is owned by people that live in Russell.
Yeah, yeah.
The rest of it is owned by people that don't live in Louisville, Kentucky. You know, they might live in California, New York, somewhere else. And, you know, that's what we're trying to attack. So that's how we're doing our job, being those tree shakers. We're going to these meetings. We're showing up on people, you know, asking to meet with the president, asking to meet with this person, and we'll come back. We'll keep coming back until you understand why we're doing. You got to give us a definite no, chase us up out of there.
That's right.
But we, you know, we're making our presence known that we're here and this is what we're trying to do. And now it's time for you all, especially with everything that happened last summer, our initiative trying to reset things, it's time for everybody to do things differently. However you thought you were supposed to do it, whatever your process was before, you know, the only way we're going to move forward, if you really believe in what these companies are saying, they invested into the community and nonprofit organizations, then, you know, we're just asking people to show it.
Right.
And to piggyback on that, with our realtor, Richard Dean, he's also with
Right.
the community. Once the candidate purchased the home, they just don't get the home. We actually give them the land too.
Okay, good. Okay.
That's something that's a little unique there.
It's all there. It's not like it's a leased piece of property and the city owns the property.
We own it. We
It's
own both
theirs.
pieces.
Yeah. Well, you can't beat that. Now, I mean, I love everything you guys are saying. I just try to keep it from a historical perspective to now because we need to know where we came from to where we're going, right? And your initiative, what I like to say, it's deeper than an urban renewal type of mission. Your mission is a true mission to help people in the community, not just put them in a house, but take it further. Now, I said Urban League's mission wasn't that. I'm just saying over the years, it may have deteriorated or whatever, right? But for what you guys are doing, you're making it intentional that this is your mission and these are the things you're going to do at Reset Louisville. And these 5 initiatives that you're talking about, Anthony, I heard you say housing. I heard you say, no, help me with all you said. Healthcare. Let's go to healthcare. That was it. Because, you know, I hold chains up in the museum all the time. And I say history is so important. And the history of black people are in those chains. Those inequities are in those chains. The housing, the separation, the police department when they started their slave patrols. You know, all those are part of the history of us. Those chains is the inequities of America, and those chains also represent the management system and wealth system of America when they sold slaves as stocks and when they replaced slavery with land ownership. So people were given land for free and bought the slaves. And that was where America was. Right. So just going from the initiative of how important land is and how systematic racism always been in America, and you guys are tackling it, deal with health care. We know you talk about COVID-19, COVID-19 exposing so many things. I can't read that. Somebody just raised something up, and I'm just getting these glasses, and I still can't see. But anyway, let me make this break. Like I said, we're a nonprofit, and money is what we need to keep telling the story. So I have to do my commercial break here. Please support Roots 101 African American Museum. You can do our Cash App at Roots 101 AAM, Roots 101 AAM. Or you can go to our website, roots-101.org, and you can go to the top of the page and push donations. And like I say every day that I come to the museum, we're going to do everything to keep this museum here, but we need your support to invest in what we're doing, not give us anything, but invest everything in your young people in this community. Now I come back, and I still don't know what the note said, so you might want to bring it to me closer. But back to when I was talking about the inequities of health care, tell me about the other initiative. You said health care. Tell me what that means in your initiative.
So, health care, it means a lot. And for us, the key term is preventative health care. That's what we like to focus on. Heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes. Before the coronavirus hit and everybody started shutting down early last year, we went to the Metro Health Department. We met with the community relations guy. We brought to him his own stats that we found online of high blood pressure, diabetes, and we showed him that you are putting out the stats, and the stats showing you that people's dying. It's not enough for them to put those stats out, knowing that people are dying and not doing anything about it.
Correct.
And in our opinion, they're just worried about expanding. A lot of these health organizations are just worried about expanding. They don't want to fix the problem. They want to deal with the problem. So that's what our healthcare initiative is about. Being able to collaborate with these health organizations. We're literally in talks with one of them right now. I can't say anything about that yet, but trying to bring a bigger presence in the West End that primarily focuses on preventative care.
Cool.
Checking people's blood pressure, more health food diets, examples, just being present can go a long way as far as health in the West End. And
you mentioned another initiative was food.
Right.
Let me hear that one.
You want to go on the food? Yeah. But our food initiative, it's a huge issue. Food insecurity. Shouts out to Chantrice Martin, Change Today, Change Tomorrow.
Taylor Ryan.
I still haven't met Taylor.
She's a tough lady.
I already know. I love
her
it from afar.
That's right.
I like watching from afar. Casa Heron.
Yes.
A lot of people are already, deeply involved in opening up grocery, providing fresh food for people that live in the West End. So we sat back and thought about, okay, where can we fit in? We don't want to duplicate what people's already doing, step on people's toes. So we came up with this idea. I don't think I could really speak on that, really. But essentially what it really is being able to support those entities. The Black Grocery, Megan Bell as well, the mobile grocery store, setting up something to where we can actually help them sustain. Because if you do any research on Black grocery markets, it's hard to sustain, just like any Black business really to sustain. And we've been doing our part, talking to people, working with people to be able to provide a space that we can directly, feed these markets so they can, sustain and do what they do, because they're already doing the work.
Oh, these sisters out there working.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, and you got to applaud them for doing what they do.
For sure.
So what other initiatives? Okay, so you got healthcare, you got housing. What's the other ones? Because you said 5 points.
We got healthcare, housing, fresh food. We got gun violence and police brutality.
Let's talk about that.
Now, that is a major issue that, like everything, a lot of people's already working on. And we've built up a committee on that point. We've got about 10, 12 members on that committee, and we just throw ideas around for right now while we're trying to set up the other initiatives. We tried at the beginning to open up something with all 5 of them, and then we quickly realized, okay, we got to scale back.
Yeah.
We got to start here, go here. So that's where we're at with the Police Brutality and Gun Violence Initiative, monthly meetings. Like I said, if you're watching this and you want to join Colors Newspaper, the Reset Louisville Initiative, get in on these meetings, bring your ideas to the table. We would love that. Just hit us up on Facebook and we can get you in.
You want to tell me your Facebook page?
Our Facebook page is Colors Newspaper.
Okay.
Colors Newspaper. Our website is www.colorslouisville.com. Instagram, Colors Newspaper. Colors Newspaper, everything. Find us on any of the platforms. Reach out to us, and we can get you into our monthly meetings and get inside those conversations.
I think you mentioned membership.
Membership. So what we're doing is we're launching a brand new membership program. You can become a member of Reset Louisville Initiative, our nonprofit organization. For a yearly membership is $100. You can pay that monthly or yearly or whatever. And with this membership, you get front row seat to and being involved in everything that we have going on. You can give your insights, first tier access to different merchandise, the newspaper. You got access to be able to write in the newspaper, promote your business in our newspaper, on our websites, and still working on more things. We're probably going to be able to launch that in the next couple weeks.
Okay.
But people can still reach out to us now if you're interested. If you like anything about Reset Louisville, just send us a message, and we'll make sure we send the emails out to you so you can know when meetings are.
Well, let me ask you this. When you guys start your housing, the 22 houses, hopefully all the lots are side by side, however you guys are going to do it, are you also, like you mentioned, one of the guys that did the study on urban development and stuff like that, and the guys that we had here were talking about alleyways, doing something pretty in alleyways where alleys become part of the neighborhood. Are y'all doing anything innovative like that? Or are you just going to put a standard house and standard out? You know what I mean? Have y'all thought about anything like that, or are you just going to put standard everything up there?
We've had the conversations. We've had the talks about how we can, beautify things, incorporate alleyways, talking with artists, local artists, to be able to help us with that. And like I said, it's just a process. We're headed in that direction to be able to do more, but we've got to start being able to build on these first houses next week. So once we get that going, it actually frees us up a little bit more to be able to work on other
Get
things.
that shovel in the ground makes
For
a
sure.
difference.
And
No
then
doubt.
also on that too is that one of the challenges of that too is you still got to work with the community. Because if we go and try to beautify the neighbors, so we've been running into a lot of that kind of stuff. And then one more thing, if anyone interested in a housing program, they can go to colorlouisville.com, and our page, they can pull in information that they're interested in getting a home.
Now, with your builders that you have that work with you, and I know they work other places as builders, but you have your own entity that you're doing. Are y'all working with any entities like L Homes or anything like that, or what you do is what you do, or what? How does that work?
Now, as of right now, we created the whole structure, got the funding, and then we built the very, very powerful team we have right now.
Okay.
But, like far as L Home, they will actually fall in on the down payment side.
Okay, so would you use their program for assistance for your people?
Definitely.
So they would kind of work together?
As of right now, we're pretty much going to fund them through, the city of Louisville have a HOPE program.
Yeah, HOPE.
Yeah, so we're pretty much going to fund them there to get the down payment right now.
Okay, good. Okay.
But we actually are looking for ways to enhance the amount of money they can get to put down.
Well, let me ask you this, what is the difference between, and you may not know, but what is the difference between what you guys are doing and what Butch Mosby's trying to do in the West End? Are you not familiar with his program? I'm not enough to talk about it, but I know he's doing housing, and he has created some kind of lower rent, or lower, not either rent, yes, rent, because he's doing a rental property, but he's able to put some kind of model down that when you look at your total expenses as a renter, he can reduce that down from the standard chart. Let's say the standard chart is 10% of your income has to be liquid, and then that makes your rent $1,200 or whatever. He's got some kind of assistance program where it's a true rent. So if someone only makes $700 as a household, they can flip that rent to coincide with their income. So they never come in under the water trying to rent a home, so they don't lose it. And I don't know enough to tell you all about it, but I was asking if you guys were doing something like that. But you're not doing the rental side, you're doing all home ownership. Right. And when you start doing these reconstructions, it also be ownership also?
Yes.
It's okay, cool. Okay, cool. So here's my last questions that I always ask everybody. And like I said, you guys give me great information. I love you. I want you to come back. Once you build that, put that first shovel in the ground, let us come back, look at what's going on, so we go tell people, hey, you need to look what Colors are doing. You need to look what Reset Louisville's doing. Because, excellence and collectives, black people have done since the time they came off the boat. We've always worked together, and we have to learn to continue to work together, regardless of personalities or whatever. We have to be on that mission to grow our country or grow our community. But what I asked everybody, this is my last parting question. I always say becoming a better ancestor. If you look on the back of my shirt, it says becoming a better ancestor. If I ask you that question, what does becoming a better ancestor mean to you, what would you say?
I think of generation wealth, financial. I like to be able to set a platform where it just keeps growing. And every generation behind me actually build upon that and they actually become better. Okay. So I would love for my next generation to outdo me.
Okay, beautiful.
For me, becoming a better ancestor, that's a real deep question. Is how do you become a better ancestor? Because all I do is read and research my ancestors from before. So I guess the answer would be, just doing your part. I did a show with Senator Neal, and we talked about the generational divide and what that means. And I said, the term I like to use is situational awareness. I think if we all are more aware of what our situation is and how we can contribute to the community, the country, the world, period, that's how you yourself can be a better ancestor. Okay. Being aware of your situation and doing what you're supposed to do.
Well, cool. And I always end it by my explanation, but I'm going to say something to piggyback what you said. I tell a lot of young people use the negative connotation to the word hustling and plotting. And I always say that, I tell young people, before people call them a businessman, as when they got a bank account and a business card, but they were hustling up to that point. And when you talk about plotting, people say plotting is something sinister, but plotting is what we did as black people. We planted trees and we planted seeds and corn. We plotted and strategized what we're going to do. So sometimes it's not about planning, it's about plotting. And I want young people to realize sometimes you got to be deliberate in what you're trying to do. And you guys have truly plotted and hustled.
And it takes a while,
Yeah,
like I said,
it's not
we're
overnight.
hustling every day. And one of the biggest things for me when I was coming out of college, early 20s, was, what is it I'm supposed to be doing? Trying to figure out, should I be doing this or doing that? And then when you find out what it is, I just recently found it out. Recently being able to find out what I'm passionate about. And then that first hurdle, I want to give this to everybody because it helped me out a lot, is to just do it. You know, you find out what your passion is, and then you go all in on it. What led me here, when I moved here to Louisville, I was working at the Nike store outlet out in Simpsonville, and worked there for a while. They asked me to move up to manager at one point. And then I had a conversation with DESTRY at the time. He had a CBD company that I was working with them a while. And, you know, I quit that job. And the day I quit that job is the day every opportunity I have right now in front of me, you know, has been able to happen.
Right.
So,
And I always tell people that all my life, I've never been afraid to fail. And in business, you have to have the tenacity that you may fail, but you continue. And I think any great entrepreneur, you have to have that spirit that you're not afraid to fail. That's true. And my wrap-up question to the question about becoming a better ancestor, I always use the paraphrase African proverb that says, the greatest king plants trees knowing he'll never sit under them. So my job is to plant the trees of knowledge, education, economic development, all the trees that young people can sit up under one day and know that Lamont Collins helps leave those trees.
right there.
Oh, yeah, man.
Right there,
Let me see a pretty picture again, man.
Right there.
See, this is why this newspaper's all that, because they got this good-looking guy on the front of it.
Now, and I wanted to say that about you, man. I know when I first moved out here, you and this museum was one of the first places that, you know, I came to, met you. You see, I got the MBK wristband on,
Yeah,
my
right.
brother's keeper. I was here for that
right,
seminar,
yeah.
and it really helped me get into the spirit and the mode of getting to that passion of what I want to do out here.
Well, thank
and
you.
Meeting with you, being able to meet people while I've been here. There's been a lot of great events that's been going on here, a lot of important people that's been in these halls and in these rooms, and, you know, I'm glad. I know Destry is saying we're glad and, you know, honored to be here, be a part of this, and we want to see this museum succeed because I believe it's something that is a need. It's a must. It's a must for the city.
Mm-hmm.
It's a need for the city. So yeah, like you said, if anybody, you know, donate to Roots 101 Museum.
Mm-hmm.
Donate the colors, but also donate to Roots 101 Museum because what they're doing is something that's, you know, huge.
And we can make it. We can all make it work together. That's what our forefathers did. But I appreciate you guys. And I said at the beginning, BMW, Black Men Working, and you guys are working the community and doing the right thing. And I applaud you for what you're doing. And like I said, brothers need to support each other and move forward. So you keep building Louisville and keep building the community. And this is Lamont Collins, Roots 101, Healing Process. This is show 120, and we're going to keep going. And thank you for coming. Legacies matter, and so do you. Have a blessed night.
Have erupted throughout the
This
city.
Commonwealth has been dealing with the pandemic that has laid bare
There's been a 150% increase.
in cities over the killings of black Americans.
and